Hi guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 8 of this, the 2020-2021 Premier League season. Now before we get on to week 8, let's have a look back at how well all of us got on in week 7.
So last week I had an alright week. I got 7 points for week 7 with one perfect result, that being Wolves to beat Crystal Palace 2-0.
Yeah, I pretty much mirrored your results there, Nathan. I also come away with 7 points, and my perfect score was a 1-0 away win for Manchester City over Sheffield United. Representing the viewers last week was HG, and HG came away with 6 points and no perfect scores. Top scorers of the week for week 7 was Mahmoud Conte and Keanu Trout, both coming away with 14 points, and they each had 3 perfect scores as well. So if we just have a quick look at the table, you can see that Mahmoud, top scorer of the week, is now also top of the table. Nathan, you actually see yourself in 15th position on 42 points, and I'm on 39 points in 24th position. HG, viewers representative last week, finds himself or herself in 30th position, and also top scorer Keanu Trout, who I believe represented the viewers in week 6, is up to 66th position on 25 points. So I'll just slowly run down the table from the top, where we got Mahmoud on 54 points, David Redgrift in second place on 52 points, and Hassan Ali in third place on 50 points. And just run down there slowly. SG Minor, give you a bit of a shout out there, in 53rd position. And all the way down, a lot of these players have only played in once or twice, so please get your predictions in each and every week. Down to 166 players now, guys, but that is enough of last week. Let's move on and make some predictions for week 8.
Okay, so first up, we've got the match on Friday night at 10 to 6, bizarre time for a match to start on Box Office, of course. Disgraceful as usual, between Brighton and Burnley. Burnley, bottom of the table, getting destroyed by Chelsea 3-0 at home. In normal times, that would have been a shock, especially at Turf Moor. And then Brighton narrowly losing to Spurs 2-1. When Spurs have been superb recently. I mean, look at their run of form so far. 14 points, haven't lost in over 6 matches.
Third in the table as well.
Tricky, but saying that with Brighton's recent form and everything, they are playing relatively well, I think, for my liking.
Yeah.
Watching some of their highlights and stuff. And Burnley, I don't think they're going to be picking up some points for some time now.
They're rock bottom.
They are rock bottom. They have had some tricky fixtures, but then again, they're not turning up in them. So I'm going to have to go with a Brighton win here, and Burnley traditionally terrible away anyway, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Brighton in this one.
Yeah, Burnley cannot buy a win at the moment. They've lost 5 of their 6 fixtures, only scoring 3 goals in those fixtures as well, Nathan. Brighton, okay, they're playing well, but they're not coming away with the results, and that means they find themselves in 16th position on just 5 points as well. Neil Maupay didn't actually play last weekend. There's a bit of an alteration, something to do with his attitude, but he's actually been cleared by Graham Potter for this weekend's fixture against Burnley, so he should feature. Whether he'll start or not remains to be seen. This match, very tight affair, this one. Burnley can probably see themselves going away and getting something from this fixture. However, the way that Brighton have been playing, they narrowly lost last weekend away against Spurs, put up a really good performance as well, I must add. I think it was Lamperty scoring, getting injured as well. Hopefully he'll be back because he's in my fantasy football team, of course. But not a lot of goals in this one. Hopefully the Brighton rearguard will stay firm. As we said, Burnley not scoring the goals, so I'm going to go for a narrow 1-0 victory to Brighton. Now next up we've got, also on Friday evening, however this is on at 8 o'clock, actually on Sky. This time you don't have to pay for this one if you've already got a Sky subscription. We've got Southampton against Newcastle. Now Southampton, excellent at the moment, find themselves in 5th position. Last weekend, having a very good away win against Villa. I think they were 4-1 up at one stage, and Villa came back into it, and it was a little bit jittery at the end. Unfortunately for Southampton, Danny Ings is out for a few weeks now with
He's out
an
until the
injury.
17th of December.
A few weeks then. International break coming very shortly. He's out with a knee injury. Also, Ryan Bertrand, the left back, is out, and also cover at left back. I think, is it Vokins or Vokins?
Something
He's
like
out
that.
as well. So
Lots of injury issues.
yeah. So Hassan Huttel will have to shuffle the pack down there on the south coast. It might mean that is it Walker Peters might have to shuffle across. They may play three at the back, you know. So it looks
with
a little bit
Che
different
Adams
there.
on his own up front as well.
Probably, yes, yeah. Newcastle last weekend, excellent victory, of course, at home over Everton. Although that Wilson penalty could, you know, it's a debatable that he should have got that. He went down ever so easily and that challenge in the box. So another tight one to call, but Southampton's form recently has been excellent. They've picked up a win recently as well against Everton. So Everton's two recent defeats against these two teams meeting on Friday evening. So it's going to be tight. Ings isn't there, so it's not going to be too many goals perhaps. So I'm going to go for a narrow 2-1 scoreline to the Saints.
Interesting. I actually think that Ings not being there is going to cost them, especially with loads of players injured near at the back as well. I mean, left backs both. And their covers out and everything. So
and Che Adams is not really firing on all cylinders as yet.
He hasn't been firing in the Premier League at all, especially ever since he got signed last.
Yeah, I think he's got 1 or 2 goals this season, but
yeah, just not many at all. But for that reason and the way Newcastle have been going forward, not the best at the back in the midfield. I'm actually going to go for a stalemate in this one. I'm going to go for 1-1.
It could happen.
Could indeed. Next up, we've got Everton versus Man United. What can we say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
It was all said in the podcast, I think, that we featured on.
Indeed. If you want to go watch the podcast, guys, go to the Dugout Football channel. Link in the description below. Make sure you watch that podcast, guys. We discussed it all there. Got a feeling this could be, hopefully, in most people's cases, Solskjaer's last game in charge for Man United.
If you're a Man United fan.
Yeah, if you're a Man United fan.
And they're losing currently in Europe this evening.
Yes, against Istanbul, and don't even get me started on how to pronounce that second half of the name.
But it is still going on. I'm just going to check the score now, Nathan. It is still 2-1 coming up into the final 15 minutes, though.
Are you going to pronounce the name? Go on.
Istanbul Basar Kashir. There we are. Not too bad.
Fair enough. But they're coming up against an Everton side who are starting to drop off a little bit now. They've lost their last 2 matches. One of those, of course, was about James Rodriguez. Question is, will he be back? Will Calvert-Lewin get back on the scoring sheet?
He scored last week.
He did, but he got the first player of the month of the season, which is the cursed one. I mean, look what happened to Timo Pukki last season, let's just say. But I don't know, I can see Everton winning this one personally. They're going to be back onto it. Man United, if you can't beat Istanbul Başakşehir, then I can't see you beating Everton either, especially with you sitting in 15th in the table. So I am going to go for a 2-1 victory to Everton.
Yeah, this one, very difficult one to call. This is on BT Sport, 12:30 on Saturday lunchtime. Everton, Nathan, 1 victory in the Premier League over Manchester United in their last 11 fixtures. So it's going to be very difficult with those
times
stats.
have changed.
Times have changed, yeah. Obviously, Everton been fantastic on the main this season. Manchester United looks fantastic in Europe, although they are losing at the moment. That could change by the end of this video. Difficult one to call. I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. James Rodriguez may be back for this. They need him, but they have got other injuries as well. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline in this Saturday lunchtime fixture. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace against Leeds. Now, Crystal Palace...
Tasty one.
Yeah, it is. Crystal Palace last weekend losing 2-0. That was on, I think it was the Friday evening against Wolves. Comprehensively beaten, and also Mihailovic getting sent off. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So he'll be suspended for this one. So a little bit depleted there in midfield, the Eagles will. Leeds on the end of a 4-1 drubbing, you could say, by Leicester. I think it was it 3-0 or 4-0 up at one point.
And not only that as well, Brendan Rodgers did say in his press conference that he is pretty sure he's found the cheat code of how to beat Leeds.
Is that a FIFA reference?
Yes.
superb. But I think in that match, Bamford had a very good chance to put them up 1-0 ahead.
Yeah.
I think he had a header in the first, before Leicester got on the score sheet. So it's difficult with Leeds. You could see Leeds go in there and run out 3-4-5-0 winners even. But I think with Crystal Palace losing last time out, Roy is going to have them up for this one, but I don't think they'll win. Zaha looking fairly sharp at the moment, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline in this one, Nathan.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I think Bielsa's going to have them bouncing back, definitely, and with the sort of injury issues around the pitch for Crystal Palace, I think it's going to cost them as well. Like I said, Milivojevic is out. That's where all of he is quite a dominant in the midfield, solid for Crystal Palace, but I don't know, I just fancy Leeds in this one for some reason. I don't know why, but I think they're going to have it 2-0.
2-0, excellent.
Okay, so next up on 5:30 on Sky, we've got Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Now, Sheffield United, if that isn't second season syndrome so far, then I don't know what is. Although they have been sort of improving their play at the moment, they did lose
against Man City.
Against Man City, of course. Difficult game. Only 1-0 though, so they did do well to keep the goals out.
And prior to that, it was Liverpool, only a 2-1 defeat, and they could have got something out of that match as well.
Indeed, they are getting the tricky fixtures, and they've got another difficult one against Chelsea, but I don't know, they're just not. Sheffield United struggling to score. They can barely get a goal. I think they've only scored 3 goals this season, tied with Burnley. Their defence is struggling as well in a way, but they're coming up against a strong Chelsea attack, as you know. 7th position, Chelsea do like a draw, but they did win last time around. Yeah, I really fancy Chelsea's chances in this one. Don't think it's going to be as big as that, but they will keep a clean sheet, so 2-0.
I'm going to go exactly the same as you, Nathan. I think Chelsea at the moment, they have, earlier in the season, they were leaking goals. Defensively, they didn't look great. Chilwell's come into the side, giving them a little bit of, more of a dimension going forward on that left-hand side. He looks dangerous in attack. Last weekend, they had to shuffle the pack, or Lampard had to shuffle the pack with Pulisic getting injured in the warm-up, which meant Werner, who was on the bench, coming on. I think Tammy Abraham was in that match as well. I think he scored one of the goals. Ziyech is how you pronounce his name. Ziyech, absolutely fantastic with a goal and assist himself, keeping clean sheets. Zuma looks fantastic as well in defence, getting amongst the goals. Straightforward 2-0 victory to Chelsea in this one, even though Sheffield United are improving, but they are second from bottom. 5 defeats in 6 matches.
They just need to get lucky.
Actually, 6 defeats in 7 matches.
Sheffield United just need to get lucky with their fixtures, really, because they're really having a tough run at the moment. They've had Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, the lot.
Okay, indeed, Nathan. Next up, we have at 8 o'clock on Box Office on BT, Happy Hammers in a London derby against Fulham, who gained their first victory of the season over West Brom.
Who would have thought?
And whoever loses to Fulham, you've got to be looking at relegation.
Surely,
This, in the predictions last week, I should have put this down. This was probably one of the only fixtures Fulham were going to win. However, that's probably going to come and bite me now on the backside. West Ham looking fantastic. Okay, Antonio looks like he's going to be out for this fixture. Unknown return date on when he will return to the starting lineup.
That's a lot of goals missing there as well.
Yeah, but West Ham looking okay. They are in 14th position and they haven't won in their last 3 fixtures, but they have played Liverpool, which they should have got something out of last weekend. Prior to that, it was a draw against Man City, and before that, a very good 3-3 draw against Tottenham, where they came back from, I think it was 3-0 down. They've also beaten Leicester, and also they've had and Arsenal. Okay, they lost 2-1 at the beginning of the season, so they have had a very, very, very difficult start to the campaign.
But have done well with it.
Yeah, they have done well, even though they are in 14th position. So Fulham, probably going to be full of confidence, but I can't see them doing anything in this fixture. So I'm actually going to go for my highest victory of the weekend. I'm going to go for a 3-0 home victory to the Hammers, and they probably won't thank me for that by tipping them.
Interesting. I'm actually going to go for a tighter one. I think Fulham are going to pierce through the defence a little bit, but missing Antonio and players like that, it's really going to cost them going forward. So in that case, I've gone for a narrow 2-1, although maybe West Ham could keep a clean sheet. It depends how Fulham play midfield midfield and at the back, but yeah, they need to start tightening up at the back, Fulham.
And well done, Bobby Reid, getting on the score sheet for the first time this season.
Indeed. That's good for him. Okay, so next up at Sunday at midday, we've got West Brom versus Spurs. Now, West Brom, what can we say?
Fulham.
Letting in 16 goals already this season in 7 matches. That's that's over 2 goals a game. That is absolutely ridiculous. The defence is like a calendar at the back, and they're barely getting any goals forward anyway.
Yeah, it did look like they were turning things around defensively as well. So
it did look like it, but then they're just letting everything in. And they're coming up against the Spurs side, free scoring, winning everything. I can't even remember the last time they've lost. I think it was in the first game of the season they did as well, so quite a while now, but surely Spurs' pedigree has got to continue. I've triple captained Son.
Have you?
Hoping for something big this weekend. You know what to do in the fantasy football, guys, so I'm going to go for a 4-0 to Spurs.
Yeah, I can only see winner in this one as well, Nathan. However, Spurs, I'm looking at a clean sheet in this one. They've only had 1 clean sheet in their last 6 fixtures as well, which was that away victory, a narrow win against Burnley. They are conceding, however, I'm going to put them down for a clean sheet. Can't see West Brom penetrating the Tottenham rearguard, so I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win to Spurs, and hopefully for my fantasy football team, Kane will get on the score sheet.
But the question is, with it, where are West Brom's goals going to come from?
I don't know, but is it Diagana?
Diagana, yeah.
He looked sharp last week against Fulham, but yeah, Pereira's not firing now. They haven't really got anything up front of there at all. So next up, we've got Leicester at home against Wolves. This takes place at 2 o'clock on Sunday on Sky. Tasty fixture, this one. It's 2nd against 6. Leicester last week, of course, dismantling Leeds. Really good result that was. And Wolves gaining a 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace. Tough one to call, this one. Jamie Vardy's back amongst the goals. Even Harry Barnes scored last week.
Very good.
Wolves, they're not scoring buckets of goals, but they are
they're grinding out the results.
They're grinding out results now. 3 wins out of their last 4, but they've beaten Crystal Palace, Leeds and Fulham in that run. So it's going to be a sterner test this weekend against Leicester, the Foxes. So I'm actually going to go for a Leicester win on this one. I'm really impressed with Leicester last time out. So 2-1 to Leicester.
I've actually gone for a stalemate here. I can't separate either side. Wolves doing superb with the likes of Podence, Raul Jimenez. They're both looking phenomenal. Same with Leicester with the likes of Vardy and their defensive line, Castan, James Justin looking fantastic at the back there.
Castan is injured though, isn't he?
Castan might be out for a bit, but I can't separate either side, so I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Desmond's indeed. Next up, we probably have the most exciting game of the game week. Man City, Liverpool, 4:30 on Sky. Man City sat in 10th, but they do have a game in hand. Patchy form at the start of the season. 3 wins, 2 draws and a loss. And then Liverpool, I believe that they're on about 5 wins, a draw and a loss as well. So Liverpool have the upper hand there. Diogo Jota got again a hat-trick last night.
Yeah, fantastic.
Could be sign of the season. That now.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Especially, what he's done since he's picked up from Wolves is amazing. But at the end of the day, Pep is going to have them fired up. I was really tempted to tip Liverpool in this one, but with Man City's recent form on and off all the time, they are beating the teams that they need to around them, and sort of slacking off for the teams that they think they'd be able to beat. But I don't know. I think it's going to be tight, and I think it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, definitely going to be a tight fixture this one, Nathan. Biggest game of the weekend. Champions from last year against the champions from the previous season. Jota, as you say, absolutely fantastic. Will he start this weekend against Manchester City? Where will he fit in? Will Firmino be dropped like he did for the European fixture last night? Jesus came off the bench as well for Manchester City in Europe, so he could be starting again. But in Manchester City, they're grinding out the results, by 1-0 here, 1-0 there, beating Arsenal and Sheffield United. So they're not free scoring at the moment. They haven't really quite clicked this season, but they defensively now they're doing ever so well. So this could end up in a Liverpool victory, could end up in a draw, but I'm going to go for a Manchester City victory in this one. The fixture last year ended up as 4-0 to Man City. It's not going to be by that deficit. I'm going to go for a 1-0 home win to the citizens.
Interesting.
And the final fixture of the weekend takes place at 7:15 on Sunday evening. No Monday night football next week because it is coming up to international break time again. This one's on box office. Arsenal at home against Aston Villa. Now, difficult. Arsenal last week absolutely phenomenal in the centre of the park. It wasn't the greatest game in Manchester United, but they grinded out that victory. Thomas Partey looks to be a massive piece of the jigsaw in that Arsenal midfield. Battle for everything, absolutely. He had Pogba in his pocket. Absolutely superb performance. Aston Villa, they lost 4-3 against Southampton. They were 4-1 down, I think it was, coming back to 4-3. So they got a bit of fight in them. They've lost their last two fixtures. So Aston Villa really need to bounce back. They found themselves, they were a couple of weeks ago, they were top of the table, now down in 8th position. But they're coming up against an Arsenal team now. Losing 2 of the last 3 fixtures. But I think that Arsenal are going to come away with the 3 points in this one. There's only going to be a goal in it. Not a high scoring match, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory to the Gunners, and it'll be interesting to see how the Arsenal midfield copes with Grealish and Barkley.
Indeed, I've actually gone for exactly the same as you. I think it's going to be a 2-1 victory as well, providing that Aubameyang can get himself back on the score sheet and everything, and Arsenal do well going forward.
He did actually score against Manchester United. That penalty.
He did indeed. Very good penalty as well. It was, but it's just a case of can they get through the midfield, and then Arsenal should be able to get through the defence, and the same goes forward. And if Arsenal can lock up at the back, then I definitely think they'll have it in their hands. It's going to be close, but it should be Arsenal's all the way to 2-1.
So that concludes the fixtures, or our predictions rather, for week 8 of this, the 2020-2021 Premier League season. As usual, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description as usual. All you need to do to play at home is copy and paste them into your comments, and like the likes of HG, who was viewers representative last week, you could get a shout out in the next video. Also, you will if you are top scorer. Now then, Nathan, on Friday evening there are 2 fixtures, so I'm going to have to get that viewers represented out maybe Friday morning, but I think what I'll do, I'll probably give a shout out early on Friday evening when that Brighton Burnley fixture is taken place. Before we go though, Nathan, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Live stream on Friday night, a bit 5:30 or something ridiculously early.
Kick-off is at 6 o'clock, isn't it?
So that'll be 10 to 6. Cardiff City, Bristol City, 7-side derby, important game. Be there. So to my channel, link in description below. Fantastic.
As always, guys, thank you ever so much for all the support you're giving at the moment. I'm going to try and do another Super Saturday Soccer 6 live stream on Saturday morning, so check that out. I'll probably leave a post in the community page when I'm going to do that. It might be a little bit earlier this week, might be around about 9 o'clock. It could be at the same time at 11 o'clock as well, so make sure you keep your eyes open on my community post for that. But for now, we'd like to both bid you farewell, and we'll see you in the next video.